Shining the Light with IUMC welcomes you to a special meditation series, The 7 Last Words. The last words of Christ from the cross are recorded in the 4 Gospels. In total, there are 7 statements that Jesus made as he was hanging on the cross, and each one is significant. These last words speak to Jesus' love, compassion, and grace, and they provide us with a glimpse into the heart of God and the depth of God's love for humanity. Jesus' 6th words. It is finished. John chapter 19, verse 30. When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, "It is finished." When we say something is finished, we mean it is over or done. The Greek has a slightly different meaning. It is completed, or it is perfected. Jesus was not speaking at the end of his suffering or his life. He was saying that something far more important was now complete. While only John's Gospel tells us what Jesus said, the Gospels of Matthew and Mark record that when Jesus spoke these last 2 words, he shouted them in a loud voice. These words were not a statement of defeat. They were a cry of victory. What Jesus actually shouted from the cross was a simple word, finished. So what exactly was finished in that moment on the cross? What happened was so profound, so mysterious, and so life-changing that it's hard for us to put into words. In that moment, as Christ gave his life, he atoned for our sin and offered us a path for reconciliation with God. Atoned is a way of saying that he made a way for us to be at one with God. No longer would there have to be separation between us and God. No longer would we have to offer sacrifices as a means of seeking God's forgiveness and blessings. Christ became our sacrifice once and for all. What we see on the cross is the love of God displayed. As the Apostle Paul wrote, the cross is the power of God for salvation for everyone who believes. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke all tell how when Jesus cried out that all was finished, the curtain in the temple in Jerusalem, about a 10-minute walk from where Jesus was crucified, was torn in 2. The temple curtain separated the innermost part of the temple, the holiest place, from the rest of the temple. Only the high priest could enter through the curtain, and he could only do so 1 day a year. According to Jewish tradition, the innermost room was the throne room of God, and God resided in that holy place. The tearing of the curtain was God's way of saying that he would no longer be contained in one place. God was on the move, but could always be found through Jesus. The phrase, "it is finished," can sound very negative. I'm finished, I'm done, I'm sunk. But Jesus gives these words a different meaning. Jesus invites us to reframe the question to something like, where can I go from here? What is the next thing I can do? These are questions full of hope and expectation. God may be calling you to end one thing in your life and move on to a new beginning. The cross is a reminder that there may be pain in the transition, but there will be glory in the end. How is God calling you to build up the kingdom?